And we want to take a few minutes here to give you what I believe is the correct understanding of the true Christmas story is found in the book of Matthew and Luke. We're going to set our timer for 4 minutes. That's all I want to spend on this. I know you're busy, the world is busy, but can't we take just a few minutes just to look at the true Christmas story? And I'll see if I can run through this in about a 4-minute time period, and we're going to start our timer now. The true story it begins in Jerusalem when an elderly man named Zacharias and his wife, elderly wife named Elizabeth, are promised to have a child. That child later will be John the Baptist. And the Bible tells us that when she was 6 months along in pregnancy, that an angel went to Nazareth and visited a young maiden named Mary to tell her that she would, because she found favor with God, she would be also the conduit by which the Messiah would come. The Holy Spirit would hover over her, and the seed in her would be of divine nature. And she said, "How do I know this? How do I know this to be true?" And the angel told her, "Did you know your cousin Elizabeth, which would probably be an older relative, some type of older relative, is 6 months in childbearing?" And Mary did not know this. So after the angel left her, she stops what she's doing. She packs her few things and she goes to see her cousin Elizabeth. The Bible tells us over in Luke that she stays with Elizabeth 3 months, while in that last 3-month time period. So now Elizabeth gives birth to John the Baptist. Mary was there when John was born, and then she goes back home to Nazareth. She meets up with Joseph, who by now Mary is 3 months along. Joseph sees this change in her, decides to put and stop their wedding, their engagement, in a private ceremony. But an angel comes to him and tells him not to fear to take Mary as his wife, as what's in her is also of divine nature. So Mary and Joseph get married, and then later there is a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. So he has to take Mary down to Bethlehem, where he's from, so they could be counted for the census and also to probably pay some kind of a Roman government tax. They do that, and while they're there, the baby Jesus is born in Bethlehem in a stall. It's probably a large cave somewhere behind an inn of some type. Later on, shepherds come, and we all know that part of the story. And I believe at that point, Mary and Joseph go back to Nazareth. Probably about a year later, maybe 2 years later, they have to go back to Bethlehem for some reason. And then also the wise men from the east see a star, go to Jerusalem, meet up with Herod and his religious counselors, and because of that information they go down to Bethlehem to see the Christ child. They present to him 3 gifts. We don't know how many wise men there were. There could have been 3 or 4, maybe 10, maybe 2. But they give him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then King Herod finds out he is very much thwarted in his attempt to find out where this new king is going to be born. And being warned of God, Mary and Joseph flee to Egypt, and after King Herod is dead, they go to Nazareth to set up a home for the Christ child. And Joseph also is a carpenter, which means a manual laborer. He probably built fences or walls or dug ditches or built houses or built furniture. And that's quite fitting for the Son of God, whose father is a carpenter, because Jesus also was a creator of the entire world. Matthew tells us that Herod finds out he is deceived by the wise men, sends an army down. They killed a lot of the babies in that area, which is probably 20 or 21 children, that whole region. But anyway, Christ is safe. He is in Egypt, and now he's in Nazareth, and later he'll go to Jerusalem, where he will die on a cross for you and me. But that, in a nutshell, in a 4-minute format, is the Christmas story. God bless you this 2016 Christmas season, and may all the joys of Christ be yours this coming year. God bless.